the width and length. So to fix this error,
Alright, so Unity just got done and it's already complaining. I have no idea what that was about. It just sent me an error. Hold on a minute. It just gave me an error. Unity just sent me an error that case-sensitive systems are no longer supported on their operating system or on their engine, and it's just like, you guys use C sharp. C sharp is case-sensitive by default, and you run on JavaScript, which is case-sensitive by default. So I have no idea what that error was about, but it didn't close the engine when I told it to quit, so we should be good. As for the addendum, it would appear that there is an error in today's episode, so I'll try to keep an eye on that. And I'm just going to update the messages for next time, or if I need to do a break. I think we're only going to do one episode today. That should be good. It's been a while, and I want to get myself back into it. There is the chance that I do another one tomorrow, but I don't think I will. But maybe. Also, now that I think about it, I need to turn my phone off. I'll just sit there for like 4 hours. 4 hours will be a good time to stop streaming. And I think we're good. I've got water. I've got G Fuel. And I've got a 4-hour window. So let's make sure that everything else is working. As far as I can tell, the camera is working. I know it's not a good camera, but it's the one attached to my laptop, so it's going to have to do for now. I might have complained about that before, but it's not that important. It works. That's what's important. Alright. So, make sure this is saved before I close it. And, alright, now we're just going to close that because it's got some personal information on it. I'm going to queue up today's video. Alright. So, I guess before we get started, a quick recap, I guess, of the past few weeks. Mostly been playing Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail. I did get to play the new patch last night, and it is really good. Really like the story. I might talk about the story more later, because it's, for a lot of people, they don't get to play the story until much later. And some people will skip the story and wait until Reddit explains them for it. Explains it for them, not... Yeah. Yeah, I can speak without switching my prepositions around. I don't have prepositional dyslexia. I gotta move this thing. Uh, oh, and I have also got all of the stuff done except for one event in Wuthering Waves, the most recent one. I'm still working on finishing that up. I got Augusta and Uno and both their weapons and all that stuff, so I am spending most of my time in that game trying to figure out like what character would make a good third for them because they're really good at rotating between themselves, but adding a third character to the rotation would make their rotation difficult. Uh, for Honkai Star Rail, I do have Evernight and Evernight's Light Cone, and that she's really good. Um, Still having difficulties getting her the exact way that I want her. A lot of my relic drops were just abysmal. Um, my planar sphere and my link rope are both pretty good, so I'm mostly going to be worried about grinding the new cavern. And then I will probably be spending the rest of Star Rail's patch complaining that there is no more story for this patch. Because I did it all in one shot. Which, granted, it feels like you should when they railroad you that hard. These these last few patches haven't really given us a really good time to just take a break in the middle of them. And the stories are getting longer. Alright, there we go. Okay. I'm just gonna close Steam for now. We can worry about whether or not we're gonna play games later. Uh, I guess on the other side, I have also been playing Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I keep calling it. I keep wanting to call it Sonic Cross Worlds Racing. The game is good. It's better. It's not as good, in my opinion, as Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transformed. But granted, for me, that game's going to be almost impossible to beat ever. Being pretty much my favorite racing game of all time, it's always going to be the bar that I compare it to. Uh, I still don't agree with the masses that Sonic Team Racing is a bad game. I think it's a really good game. I just think it's not the kind of racing game most people want to play. To my understanding of the average racing game consumer, most racing game enthusiasts would rather always strive for first place. They don't want to work together as a team to accomplish a goal. They just want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Convincing people who are used to playing a game where your main goal is to be first to work together as a team and your placing no longer matters, that's probably where I think Sonic Team Racing went wrong. That is my personal theory. I don't have a whole lot of evidence to back it up, but that was my experience with Sonic Team Racing. My biggest issue with the game was the gambling. The gambling was not fun because you're looking for specific car parts all the way to the very end of the game, and I never even got them all because it got to the point where it was giving me more power ups than I could use. Alright, so oh, I haven't opened a script asset yet. So, moving back over to the to our grid map for Unity. Trying to remember, I believe the last time we were trying to get it to work on um, terrain, so that if your terrain has different height values, you can it will automatically adjust where the square is, so that when the character is on a certain point of the grid map, that they will move, or that it will recognize that they're at a slightly different height elevation. I remember that we had a few issues with it, but we got all of them fixed after a while. Alright, so are we back to normal? Yeah, we're back to normal. And these are the scripts. And everything seems to be organized. Unity seems to be working okay. I know this. Yeah, it's doing that thing where every time I switch windows, it's just like, oh no, you switched windows. Now I have to reload all of my assets again. All right, so now real quick, which one of these windows is the right window that I want to show? It's not that one. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Okay. So we are going to move over here. And then I'm going to undo studio mode so that I can see what you guys can see. Alright. Real quick, what is this? I already watched that video. It was good. We're getting a new Mega Man Star Force. Well, not new. We're getting a remaster of the Mega Man Star Force trilogy. If you've never played Mega Man Star Force, I feel bad for you. It's a great series. There was going to be a fourth game, but unfortunately, Mega Man Star Force 3 undersold what they wanted, and we lost the fourth game. The third game is probably the best game in the series, though there is some stiff competition for the first game. I just didn't like the fact that the first game was split between three versions and the second game was split between two versions. And I like the fact that the third game, actually the third game was also split between two versions. So it's the Black Ace version and the Red Joker version. And Black Ace just had a really cool fit, and that's why I chose Black Ace. So I'm hoping that with the remaster, they consolidate it all into one game. I imagine that story-wise, that's going to be a bit tricky, because there is a story reason as to why Mega Man gets the Black Ace powers, and why the villain has the Red Joker powers. It's not a big story reason. In the first game, it just determines which star sign you get. So you either get the Pegasus, the Leo, or Dragon. And if you want to have all three powers and then be able to merge into the ultimate form, you need to have three people play the game, and then you need to brother band with each other. And that was just kind of annoying, and I never got to experience that. But the second game was a lot worse because you needed someone who had both versions of the game, because everybody got Zerker for free. So it was either Zerker Barbarian or Zerker Saurian, and Zerker Saurian was really cool, and sorry, it's not Barbarian. It was Zerker Ninja and Zerker Saurian. So the Berserker, the Ninja, and the Dinosaur. And the Saurian gives you a ranged option. The Zerker gives you +2 to your sword attack, or +2 range to your sword attack. And the Ninja allows you to. I think it was the same as Saurian, where it just allowed you to shoot a projectile out towards the enemy. I think the main difference is that it shoots like 3 projectiles. I never got to play around with Ninja. I went with Zerka Saurian. And then for the last game, you get a choice between playing the Black Ace version and the Red Joker version. The Red Joker version summons pillars from the floor, and the Black Ace version summons the black hole on the far end of the field and sucks everything, and then slices the black hole in half. And yeah, slicing a black hole in half beats summoning a bunch of red pillars out of nowhere. I mean, could you imagine the theoretical problem that would be presented with the idea of slicing a black hole in half? Because quantum physics, I believe, is what states that if you were to cut a black hole in half, you would technically just have created two black holes. And my thought is, well, it explodes and it deals like 500 something damage to everything on the field, where the red pillars can actually be avoided if your opponent knows how to dodge, and a handful of bosses in the game actually will attempt to dodge your attacks. And that's my short talk about the fact that I love Mega Man Star Force. I love Mega Man Star Force, okay? I have a friend in my friend group who also loves Mega Man Star Force, and we're both excited. We get to play our favorite game again. All of them. And we get HD graphics with it. That's really nice, too. Alright, I've dragged this on long enough. I should probably actually watch video now. So, like I said in the welcome to the stream section, today we are working on pathfinding for the grid map, as it says right here. So I believe that means that we're going to get about as close as we can to the movement system for the game. For those that need a quick reminder, this is where we currently are with the game. The black boxes should disappear. The camera is in the wrong place. We're gonna fix that really quick. Where's my camera? My camera is over here. Alright, so we're going to put the camera there, and when we load this up, we should just see the green and the blue, and we don't. Did I forget to add the destroy function? Crap, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I did. I was gonna do that during the next stream, wasn't I? Yeah, the lazy version of past me is biting me, because now I'm remembering we still have something we forgot to do. So let's go do it.
Hey.
We're gonna rewatch most
To
of
avoid
the old
potentially
video, I
getting
think.
errors.
No. It's been a while, but I think we can figure it out.
But remember, right now, the map data is generated at the start. So if you move the obstacle at runtime, it will not change the state of the nodes at runtime. Remember that later on we will be able to use the exactly same systems for example, marking the forests tiles or nodes, or marking the difficulty terrain, etc, etc. So let's create another new script called delete me, which will clear the obstacles of the scene.
Okay. Now, as I can tell, I do not have this. I'm gonna create a new folder. This is just gonna be my general folder for when I don't know where to put something. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to create another folder. Now I want to create the script. Now I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna try really hard not to burp all over the place.
On the start.
Is that all we gotta do?
Start.
There we go. Then we just attach this to the black boxes, right?
And with our implementation of elevation, now if I do any modification to terrain, it should recognize. And with our implementation of.
Okay, so I didn't see it, but the way that I oh, it's still running. So now when we run it, the black boxes should disappear from the main game view, and we can easily check, and we can see that there's one blue square that's not getting tagged, which is perfectly fine. I'm fine with one small mistake. We can always fix mistakes later. Or I guess I could just go in and grab the scaling tool. And then if I run it now, we shouldn't have that issue, I believe. So as you can see, there's nothing here. There's no camera movement component, and we can see that all the blue spots are correct. There are more things to fix. But this is good for now.
Of
Is that the
elevation.
only thing I forgot to
Now,
do?
if I do any modification to terrain, it should recognize the new elevation. Or if I create an object and assign him to the terrain layer, it should read and recognize it as terrain, allowing you to, for example, make fights on top of buildings or any other objects.
Okay.
In the next episode, we will be dealing with
Hello everyone, my name is Greg and I dev stuff. Welcome everyone to episode 4 of the tactics game in Unity. In this episode we will cover pathfinding. Before we begin pathfinding implementation, we should clean our root folder. For clarity's sake, this episode is based on episode 3 in the sister series of grid map tutorial. This episode will use majority of the same code and written script, but flipped to be used on 3D plane instead of 2D plane. Pathfinding or pathing is the plotting by a computer application of the shortest route between 2 points. So let's look at the theory first. Here we have a 5x5 grid and 2 points. We want to reach point B from point A in real life. Our brain calculates what we think is the most efficient route and we follow it to reach where we want to go most of the time. You don't even think about this. It happens naturally. But computers don't have that luxury. You have to give them a detailed explanation of how to reach a certain place. The goal of the A-star algorithm is to make the process of decision making computable by a computer. So it will be able to read the map, understand the walkable and unwalkable terrain, and calculate the shortest path between point A and B. So our grid map will have cells which will be our nodes. You can walk in all directions from the node. Each node will have 3 values. G value, the walking cost from the start node. In our case we will have direct walking cost 10 and diagonal cost of 14. H value or heuristic cost. This is heuristic cost to reach our final goal. This is total cost to reach the end goal with disregard to stuff like walls. This value will help us with prioritizing the nodes which are more likely to lead to the end goal. F value is the total sum of G value and H value. Using this value, we can prioritize nodes which is more likely to lead us to the goal. The algorithm will stop when our end node will be found. To make the algorithm work, we will have 2 lists, open list and closed list. Open list, list of nodes ready to be searched, and closed list, list of nodes which have already been searched. So we search our environment until we either reach the end goal or open list is empty, signifying the fact that we have nowhere else to search and the target place is unreachable. So how does it work? Well, A-star calculates the quality of the path and use the one which seems the most efficient. First step, get all neighbors and calculate their values. Second, select the most efficient node we currently have on our field. Third step, get all the neighboring nodes and if they are not in the closed list already or they are not obstructed by the wall or impassable terrain, calculate them and add them to the open list. When you're done with all neighboring nodes, add the calculated node to the closed list, signified by the line under the f value. I will mark these nodes with the line under the f value. In case the neighbor has been already calculated before, we're rechecking it for the possibility of newly discovered route being more efficient. Fourth step. Repeat this process until we reach point B. Fifth step. When we reach the point, trace back to the point A, and this will be our path. Good, back to the Unity. In the editor, create a new script called pathfinding. Add it to grid component.
Onto the grid component. Hold on, is that the... Yeah, we're doing things right. And we're creating a new script. And, because I like making sure my stuff is in order. We're gonna go over to grid map, we're gonna go over to scripts, we're gonna create a new C# script, and this is gonna be called Pathfinder. And then we'll just attach this onto that.
Because our pathfinding will always work with grid map, we want to ensure that this component will always be attached to the object with grid map. So add the required component grid.
Okay, so we go in and in grid map we can find the Pathfinder class. And he said to add a required component. And is that parentheses that I use? Yeah. Type of grid. Did I do something wrong? Yeah. Is that correct? That looked correct.
Good. Here we will be describing the pathfinding process. Inside, create a new class called pathNode and declare x and y position, then g value, h value.
Okay, we haven't done that. That I know of. This is not the way that I know how to do this.
And create a
Wait, are those ints or strings? Int. Well, actually, since we're just creating more ints, let's just create a g value and a h value. I did just say this, but to have it put bluntly, this is not how I know how to do this. I am interested if it turns into the way that I understand pathfinding, but at the way we're going, I don't think it will. We are going to recreate A star, so I should start recognizing some of it eventually, and if I don't, I feel really bad for my professor who had to sit there teaching it to me.
property called fValue, which will return the sum of g value and h value.
Also, if you're new to programming and you're wondering why don't we just call these G, H, and F, because those are usually you'd want to reserve those for loops. Usually, as I understand it, usually most people would just call this heuristic or heuristic cost is what I named it when I was working in C++. But ow, ow, ow. Sorry, my eyeball itches. But this is our heuristic cost. Did he ever say what G was? So 835. Did he ever actually explain what G was?
So our grid map will have cells which will be our nodes. You can walk in all directions from the node. Each node will have 3 values. G value, the walking cost from the start node. In our case we will have direct walking cost 10 and diagonal cost of...
Oh, okay. No, never mind. This is how I understand A star. So, this is A star. I'm going to explain this, and then we're probably going to look it up so I can tell you guys that I'm actually wrong and I know nothing about what I'm talking about. So, essentially, cost is how much the computer needs to spend to move. So imagine that every grid has a point value, and technically it will. But just for the sake of it, imagine moving forward. That decreases your character's movement component by 1. So if they have 4 move and they move forward 1, that means that now the cost of the next move is 1 and it's already spent 1. So if the computer knows that it can only afford to move a cost of 4, that means it knows that I can move 4 spaces, so it needs to now determine what's the best direction to go in. Well, that's when you start giving terrains heuristics. And heuristics are essentially all of the color coordinated stuff, usually color coordinated in all of the other engines I've seen. Like if you go into RPG Maker, you can add heuristics to the map so that you can determine what spawns where. But heuristics is essentially going to say it's going to be more expensive if you move into like a forest tile. A forest tile has a higher heuristic value. We'll say if you move into the forest tile, it now costs 2 movements. So we need to tell the computer that if you move here, it's going to be more expensive. And so, and even still, if the computer's trying to get to the player, we need to make sure that it understands that the heuristic values of everything on that lead you away from the player are higher than going to the player. So this is how I understand heuristic, and like I said, we're about to go look this up. 832 will work. Ignore the AI. I'm not looking for just like we'll go here. I might get yelled at for trying to go here by Nord, but oh, can I force dark mode? There we go. Now it doesn't hurt to look at. So, heuristic optimization, a tutorial on how to use heuristic optimization to gain significant speed ups. That's not really what we're talking about. Distance function to use a heuristic. The heuristic, often referred to as just h, is the estimated cost from a node to the target. So essentially, if it moves closer to the target, the heuristic cost decreases. If it moves away from the target, the heuristic cost increases. Now, this will change depending on what your AI's main goal is. And this also changes depending on whether or not you're setting up an AI or whether or not you're just trying to tell the human player what they can and can't do. Or if you're playing Fire Emblem and you need to re-roll the dice in your favor, because you can use the heuristics because of the way the arrows work, as I understand it. I saw in one video they said that the arrows are actually using the same random number generator that the dice roll for the combat encounter they're using. So if you know what numbers are loaded up, you can actually pick which number you want by simply just forcing the heuristic value to change over and over again, so that it has to pick different paths over and over. But essentially, with the heuristic, you're saying, you are here, your goal is here. The closer you get to your goal, the lower the heuristic value should be. And the lower the heuristic value, the more likely you should take that path. That's the right video, yeah. Oh, I gotta turn Force Dark Pages off. Because Force Dark Pages makes the videos act weird. Don't know why that is. And this is another ant, right? Yeah.
Make a constructor, where we will pass the position
And the F value should return the cost plus the heuristic cost. Return cost plus heuristic. Actually, can I just... Am I allowed to do this? I don't think I am. No. Okay, we'll go back. I suppose I could get away with this. That's still technically legal.
of this node.
For anybody who's a programmer, I may have just hurt some people's brain. So, just as a reminder for anybody who hasn't been here for the rest of the streams or hasn't watched the other one, if I can, I prefer to put things on a single line as long as it doesn't pass like this spot, like right here-ish. Like, if it gets right about here, this is where I want to consider just moving it to the next line. But if I have like an if or a for that only does one thing, I'll usually just try to keep it to a single line. Unless I have to nest it for some reason, and which then, for the sake of legibility, I will make sure that it's properly indented. This is one of the reasons why I don't like JavaScript.
Good. Then inside pathfinding, on the start,
Okay, I don't know why we're doing that, but I I will keep up with you. That's a public path node. I forgot what type. Why doesn't it have a type? But we're gonna set pause x to x and pause y to y. I don't know why we need to do that. Maybe it's so that we can pass it better. He did say that we're using start. I don't think we'll need update. Maybe we will. I don't know.
Create a new method called init.
But something's not right. Okay, I don't know why it's acting weird all of a sudden. Oh, I see the issue. I forgot to. Apparently, this method didn't close properly. Or this class didn't close properly, so. Now, since I did watch the video that fixes this, I do know that this is where he makes a mistake.
Then store the reference to the grid.
Grid map. That's what we're doing. If grid map is null, grid map get component grid. Then I have to open something, right? Yeah, I just need to open and close it. Then we need to tell it what a grid map is. There we go. Maybe that's a C++ thing, because I swear I remember that capital N versional is a thing. That might, maybe that's just me being used to C++ a little bit more.
Create 2D array of pass nodes on
So we need to create. Actually, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. And the AI seems confused by the idea too. Undefined. Syntax within an array declaration or type specification indicates a multi-dimensional array, specifically a two-dimensional array. So we're telling it that our array has is two-dimensional, which I think we call it a map in C++, because I believe that maps are two-dimensional arrays in C++. In C++, we have pretty much anything you could ask for. Everything is named, which in its way is its own problem. Instead of just making a two-dimensional array, you need to know what the two-dimensional array is called, and when you need a three-dimensional array, you need to know whether or not you actually need a three-dimensional array or you need a vector. Because at a three-dimensional array, you start using matrices to fix them.
To be able to access the width and length of the grid, we need to make them public.
Force Unity to serialize a private field. Not what I wanted. I don't think that's what I wanted either. We know that we want this to be public. And we know that we want this to be public. Now, what I want to know is, does that get rid of this? Because I've never unserialized a field before. No, I seem to still be here. That's good. I thought I forgot to turn the task off for a second. Alright.
Then initialize.
And as I recall, this is where he makes a mistake. So we can go path nodes. Is new path node. Why did I do this? I'd like to make an argument with past me. Again. Why did we call this height? This is not height. This is not scalability. Okay, I did not realize that Visual Studio had that in it. I thought that was a JetBrains specific function. Did it fix it over here too? Yeah. Okay, so it's fixed my entire code. So, to past me, who decided to name it height, fuck you. I'm gonna get hit by YouTube for that one. But I'm not monetized, so who cares? I will actually need to. Well, I'm not gonna re-upload this at all, so I don't really need to worry about telling kids not to come watch my videos. So we should be fine. But in the previous video, he says that if you do it like this, and you're not using a perfect square, it should cause problems. And I want to say there's a way around it, because I think one of my classmates actually managed to make this work. But I can't remember what how he made it work.
Initialize each node in an
I guess technically, if you want to be specific, the main issue is that length and width, the grid calculates width and length. I might need to go back and watch that video really quick, because I'm realizing I may have made a bigger mistake. Or more specifically, I might be calculating things in an order that I don't fully. Well, I was doing width then length, so it might actually be a better idea to do width than length here. Because I believe Greg here is always doing length then width. I think so. I think he's always checking his x value and then his y value. And from most people that I know, we always check our y values, then we check our x values by the y coordinate.
array.
We can always check our work afterwards. Yeah, here's his mistake. So here he's checking. No, he's actually done it right. I don't know why I missed the first one. Oh, checking the wrong thing.
Create
And then we grab the coordinate and we set it to a new value. Yeah, that's pretty normal. So why does it keep going for a matrix? I might have messed something up. Oh. Because I wasn't paying attention to my work. There we go. Downside about using the automatic suggestions is that sometimes you put the right stuff into the results and you get the wrong stuff because you're pumping the wrong results out.
a new method called findPath, which will return the path between 2 points, in the form of a list of path nodes, and accept 4 parameters start x and y and end x and end y.
Okay, the list is easy. Wait, outside of the internet, we need a public list. I had it right the first time. And if we just open it up. No, I forgot something. We have to name the list. And then it's just integers? Yeah. Int start start x, int start y, int index, int end y.
Return null immediately. Returning null inside find path will signify that we haven't found the path.
Okay. Okay.
Save the reference to the start node and the end node.
So yeah, we just want to grab the coordinates here. Path node start node is. Did I already screw it up? No. Okay. We need to grab that. Okay, I was doing it right, and then I doubted myself. If you're a programmer, that's the worst thing you can ever do. That's what all my professors told me. As a programmer, the worst thing you can do is doubt your own skill.
Create two lists, open and close lists.
And this is where we're going to store all the information about the places we haven't been and the places we have been. So I don't think this is how I handled it. I'd have to go back and check. I would have had to do something similar. Now I'm more interested than ever exactly how I solved the problem the first time. Because I'm starting to worry that I probably
And
did it like
add
the
the
worst way
start
possible.
node to the open list. So now we will be searching through our grid until we either find the target node or run out of options. Make a while loop with an open list count more than 0 to keep.
And then we'll be adding the start node. We don't want to add the end node because we are not at the end node, and we have not been to the end node. And remember that the closed list is for places that we are we have already visited, so that we don't have to go back over ourselves.
Keep searching until we run out of possible nodes.
That's not what I'm trying to do. Open list.count greater than 0. Open list.count greater than 0. While loops are my exception to the rule. Even if your while loop only does one thing, you should always put it in brackets because it might not always do only one thing. While loops are very complicated and they should be treated. Or more specifically, while loops are very simple, and because they are so simple, it can cause drastic and very complicated problems down the line if left unchecked.
Then inside
And I don't know, and yes, I'm not completely certain why I'm explaining while loops when we are very clearly doing something that's rather complicated in the world of programming.
we want to find the node with the lowest f cost in the open list. Create a new variable called current node and assign the first node from the open list to this current node. Then loop through the list of open nodes.
So path node, C node is because I know I'll forget.
Nodes and compare f cost of the current node against the open list nodes.
I is 0, I is less than the open list count. Less than the open list count.
If one of them is lower than your node, assign it to the current node.
If current node's f value is greater than is greater than current list is open list at I. Also, this is why I prefer single lines. And yes, I can always just break it down into individual components if I need to debug it later, but this is right, so. Wait, I think we're done with the for loop, right?
Besides flatly comparing f costs, we want to prioritize nodes with the lower h cost. So add an additional comparison of f cost equals current node f cost and h cost less than current node h cost. This way, if you have a node with equal f value, but there is a node with better h value, we will use this node instead.
Yeah, this is where it gets complicated because you need to remember that the heuristic is essentially the distance between you and your target. So if it has a lower heuristic value, that means that that cell, by all approximations, is closer to the target that we're trying to reach. I'm just gonna pop this out for me really quick. If kernode.f value is the same as open list at I dot f value and kernode dot heuristic is greater than open list then kernode is open list at I. Yeah, okay. So kernode, so we're essentially doing the same thing. So this is my version. Here's his version. There's his version. The logic of both of ours says the same thing. Mine's just written all on one line. If you don't like it this way, you can actually still just do this. But I don't like that. I prefer mine to look like this. It does pass the line that I set, but in this one case, I think I'll allow it just because this could potentially cause some problems. At least it will cause problems for me.
Remove the selected node from the
Also, I think at about the 20-minute marker, we'll take a short break because we've been going for a little over an hour now. So I believe pretty soon we should all just take a break, step away.
open list, then add it to the closed list.
If you haven't recently, remember to take a drink of your water. Is that outside of the for loop? Yes. No, I don't want to remove at. I just want to remove current node. And then close list dot add current node. Should that should the initialization be in the while loop? Because won't then it initialize itself at the start of each loop? Won't that create a problem?
Check if the current node equal to the target node. If yes, that means we found our path.
If current node is end node, I think that means we just return, right?
And let's create and call retrace path, where we will pass start node and end node. We will come back to this method later on when we will be done with our pathfinding calculations.
The thing that I'm worried about is with this here, won't it initialize the current node to the 0th position on the open list? Although I guess that's not really a bad thing since we're also removing stuff from the open list. There should only ever be 2 things in the open list at a time. That being their previous current position and the current position. Or more specifically, the previous current node and the current node. So, and then at the end of the while loop, we remove the previous node. I might need to go over this once we're done, because I feel like something's wrong with the logic here. I feel like something's wrong, but I'm not going to see it until I spent like hours staring at it. So I might review this one later just to see if I'm right and there is an issue in there I'm not noticing.
Then we want to get all the neighbors from the grid by searching 3 by 3 grid.
Neighbor. List. Then I need to name it and yes, I'm American. We don't put a U in neighbor as far as I know. That could be a me thing, though. As long as x is less than 2. Then what do we need to do? We need to make a for loop pointer. Yeah.
Skip the middle node, because it is node we are currently checking for.
And we need to make a nested for loop. Y is -1, x is less than 2. Y is less than 2. Oh, I see. I see what I did wrong. I used commas where I was supposed to use semicolons. There we go. That was a mistake.
We need to check
So we need if both are 0, we could just continue. If x is 0 and y is 0,
if this neighboring node is inside the boundaries of the grid map. To do so, we want to introduce an overload of the check boundary, where instead of using vector2int for position on grid, we will use two integers.
alright, I'm going to pull this over really quick. We need to check if the grid map boundary node dot pos x plus x it's a so over in the grid Okay, so we're checking the boundary.
And if it is,
Hold on, I need to go back over that.
we can add the
Yeah, we lost the internal position. And we want to give these Alright, that's all we did?
and if it is, we can add this node to the neighbors list.
Shouldn't we make an else break for these, since these are the continue operators? Oh yeah, did we leave it? We left it as a bowl, right? Yeah.
Is we can add this node to the neighbors list.
Wait, that doesn't seem right.
We want to cycle through this list, and if neighbor is already in the closed list or it is on the unwalkable, then we continue.
Not right. I is less than neighbor node dot count I plus plus. I plus than neighbor dot count and about
We don't have a check for unwalkable node, so let's implement it.
if closed list dot contain neighbor node. If closed list dot contains neighbors continue Oh, right. We said we'd take a break at the 20-minute mark, and it's now the 21-minute mark. So we're a little more than halfway through the video right now. I think we're at about like 60% of the way through, so if you guys want to take a break, now's probably going to be the best time. If not, I'm going to do it anyway. Ugh. Oh, that was good. Ow. There's a bump on my head, and I can't quite get it. Oh, I can't show that video. YouTube might actually flag me for showing that video. Oh, a minute. I'm gonna look for something really quick and see if I can't find. I'm gonna look and see if I can't find some of my old work. Oh. Where? There it is. Going to second. I think it was lab C. No, that was flocking, and I basically didn't get any points for it. I don't know if the school's gonna hate me for showing this or not, but I'm going to. If we come back here, we can actually review some of my old work. We moved from C# to C++ really quick. I'm just showing this off because this is what I'm reviewing while we're doing this, and this is what I'm constantly trying to remember. So these are three of the four searches we had to. Oh yeah, here's the fourth search. So these are the four searches we had to do while I was in school, and this all had to be done in a single week. This entire assignment is literally a week's worth of work at Full Sail. And yes, this is a lot of work for a single week. I imagine most schools would probably give you 2 weeks to perform this much activity. Because unless you're really good, this will not leave you a lot of time to test your project. So, essentially, our grid map and our nodes, all of that stuff was made for us. So there was a lot of researching all of that stuff. As you can see, some of this stuff we can just reference it. The nodes had a cost set to them by default, but we had to define our own heuristics. So we had to calculate heuristic cost by taking the current title or the current tiles column and the goal tiles column, and we had to determine how close we were to it, and that helped determine the heuristic cost. This is one of the reasons why I'm worried that this isn't going to work the way he thinks it will, is because we still don't have a method for determining the value of the heuristics. And then this is A star. This is going to be a lot of stuff to look at, and this is also a lot of old code that I haven't reviewed in months, probably almost a year now. Probably more than a year now. I think I took this class back in August or either August or July, one of those two. And this was also my second time taking the class, so it's missing quite a few notes that I think the first one still had. So yeah, we had this we had to have planner nodes and search nodes, and essentially the planner node was the AI planning its route, and the search node was it searching for the route it was going to take. Then for A star, you have to use you need heuristics, and you'll need your travel cost. And so each node had a value that was given to it. That wasn't something we had to set up ourselves, but and so I don't know exactly how he set it up. And if I recall, this code here is to stop it from essentially freezing, I think. Or maybe it was to tell us how long it took. Because we start a timer and we have an end timer. Because a lot of our programs were checked for how long they took for completion, and if they took even like 10 seconds to finish what they were supposed to do, it was counted as a fail. Except in some cases. If I go ahead and load this up. So for anybody who goes to Full Sail, this is one of the things that you'd be asked to do as a programmer. Is you're gonna be given a start point, which is the red flag, and a goal point, which is the green flag, and you're going to need to create an algorithm that is going to check pretty much everything to try and get here. And essentially, the gray squares have a higher cost value. The darker the color, the more of a cost value, all the way up to, I believe it's cost 3, which are the black ones. The black nodes, they are impassable, and I believe they have a cost of 3. And there is code in it to tell you that you just cannot take that. And oh wow, there are errors in my code. Wouldn't you know? There there was something that was supposed to happen. I wonder. I'll bet A star is not turned on. That's the exit, that's the shutdown, that's the enter, that's the update. No, A star is turned on, so why is it not doing what I remember it's supposed to do? Well, it looks like I need to go back and redo this assignment because I don't remember why this assignment's not working as intended. There is very clearly something that was supposed to happen and that did not happen. All right. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working at the moment. It technically working, but it's not working the way that it's supposed to, and that's kind of the problem. And I will say that despite the fact that you are told to do all 4 of those search algorithms, you technically are only going to be graded on the A star one. So, but if you do all of them in order, you get everything you need to complete A star. Because with breadth first, you're really just looking for the fastest way to get to the goal node. It just unfortunately also one of the worst. Then you'll do, I believe next you'll do greedy, which is where you'll check pretty much every single node on the board, and then you'll do the uniform, which I believe is where you start adding heuristics. And then once you've got the heuristics, you might as well just do A star at that point. Did I really? Maybe that's why I screwed up. Because I feel like I'm missing some stuff. Yeah, I only did A star. And I'm noticing some mistakes I made. And I might go back and redo this assignment later. I'm pretty sure I can still grab a blank version of the assignment and then I could just start from jump. And since I went to Full Sail, one of the benefits is I can always retake the class and ask the professor a question that I didn't think about back then. Alright. We're about to get started with the last 14 minutes of this video. So we're just gonna move over here. Yeah, I might maybe try that tomorrow. Maybe. It could be a fun experiment. Um, we're gonna restart here, so I'm hoping everybody's back at that last, and actually, I haven't written that line, right? Yeah. So that's where I am. Just continue, yeah. I forget what I named that method, so this might take a minute. If grid map dot neighbors at I dot pause x neighbor that I dot pause y, and that's gonna be continue only if false. And are we gonna check the mistake, or are we just gonna create?
Just return state of possible from the node.
Where are you gonna put it? Right above get grid position. Public bool. Check. Walkable. Int. Pause x. Int. Pause y. And
We will expand on walkable and unwalkable system later on. Create a new variable movement cost to neighbor and calculate it using hours calculate distance plus current node g value.
alright, so we're here and we're creating new float called movement cost. We're going to calculate distance, so we're going to take the current node and we're going to take the neighbors at I. And that should be cost. And so this is the part where we make her calculate
By getting an absolute value of difference between node A and node B.
we're getting the absolute of the current node dot pause x minus the path node wait. Gonoid. Wait. Love me some gonoid. And we're gonna pass the same thing, right? So I can just go over and change all this stuff to y. And I'm gonna make sure that these if you know, you know.
Then if distance by x is more than distance by
Actually, no, I'll just tell you guys. This is actually short for delta because that's what we're finding. If you've ever taken calculus, then you know that you spend a lot of time calculating deltas. And the main thing is that you have a start point and an end point, and you need to know the distance between. And to get distance, you need deltas. So delta is always the current position minus the goal position, or the current position minus the final position. In programming, most people just call this dx and dy, the delta of x and the delta of y.
y returns the distance y multiplied by 14 and distance x minus distance y multiplied by 10. Otherwise do the same with opposite values.
If dx is greater than dy, return. I don't know why we're returning this, but I'll go back in a second to see if he answered it. Ten times dx minus dy. For now, we're just following along, so if he does something that we don't fully understand, we will discuss it later. (14) times delta y plus 10 times the delta of the two deltas.
If our movement cost to neighbor is less than new node g cost, or our new node is not in the open list, and if this statement is true, assign the movement cost
Wait, I think he did that wrong. No, he did it right. I'm looking at it wrong. Neighbors at I dot cost neighbor that I dot cost is movement cost. That seems odd. Oh. Still wrong. Ow. Now we're going back and we're changing all of our integers into floating points. I think this is a bad choice. But, usually bad if you gotta go back and change this. Although I think, thinking about it, they might be better as floats. No. The more I think
and
about it, the more I
to
can't decide.
the h value will be equals to get distance between this new node and the end node. then stores the parent node into the path node, from which we reach this node.
So first we're going to store the movement cost, then we're going to store the heuristic value, and then we are going to take the parent node, which we actually haven't set up yet, which we should have, and we're going to store the current node. Wait. I missed that. I missed that.
If this node
Okay, so we just made it public. I guess it does need to be public because you never know when you're gonna need to call the parent node.
If this node is not present in our open list, we will add it to the open list.
Okay, I gotta go check what's wrong with line 87. Oh, I made the same mistake. This is why I'm not allowed to write my own for loops. Oh, I'm gonna have to refactor this later. Because this is ugly. Open the list that contains neighbors at I. This is false. So, I should probably explain this. For those that don't understand what I'm complaining about, we nested far enough that it's starting to become annoying to look at. We are currently inside of a class, inside of a method, inside of a loop, and We are inside of a loop inside that loop. Yeah. We're inside of a loop inside of a loop. We are in an if statement, or we're inside of an if statement inside of an if statement inside of a loop inside of a loop inside of a function inside of a class. We are nested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are nested 6 lines to the right. That is more than I like to be nested to the right. I usually have to stop when I can say that for the while loop I might let it slide, but honestly, this should be broken down into even more methods. God, this code is getting really messy really fast. I'm gonna have to refactor this stuff later.
So at this
Fortunately, that's one
point
of the
we
few
are
things I'm
done
good at.
calculating nodes for the pass. So now we need to process it. Generate a
Open list dot add neighbors at I.
So at this point we are done calculating nodes for the pass.
Alright.
So now we need to process it. Generate a pass based on these calculated values and return this pass. So we will be able to use it for like our character or anything else. So open the retrace pass, where we will retrace our pass back using our parent nodes from our
Yeah, don't mind me as I just, for some reason, decide to spit bulls on parade for some reason.
pass nodes. Create new list of nodes called pass. Then create a variable for current node. Assign end node as a current node because we will be retracing the path from the end. While current node is not equals starting node, pass add current node, and current node is equals current node's parent. Then, when we have reached the beginning of our
Hold on. Current node is not the start node. And path dot add the current node. Current node is current node dot parent node. We'll call it
pass and pretty much traced back our path. We need to reverse this list. Return the generated path from the place where we detected the completion of the pathfinding. We need to reverse the
There we go.
this list. Return the generated path from the place where we detected the completion of the pathfinding. In case our program go through all the open list and did not found the path to the end node, we will return null, meaning there is no path to the desired location. This episode is brought to you by generous support of people on Patreon and members on YouTube. If you want to join them, link to my Patreon in the description and join button available right now on YouTube. So now, when we have an ability to calculate the path, we should be able to call this method from somewhere and then use calculated path to show it on our screen. Open the grid control. In grid control we want to use the pathfinding of
We're actually gonna open this, and this will probably need panic. I need to save to cause it to panic. We're almost done with today's work. One video at a time, one day out of the week, and we're almost done with this week's.
the and then
So the camera is what we're looking at now. And the camera has the grid control component. And so, yeah, we're looking at the right stuff now.
then use calculated path to show it on our screen. Open the grid control. In grid control we want to use the pathfinding of the target grid.
Alright. So you're commenting all of this, I believe. The if, the else. I can move this here-ish for now. Pathfinding. Pathfinder, pathfinding. Target grid, game. He's going straight for the get component.
We need variable for current position and for path.
then we need a list.
Then in the update, when you click on the grid, you want to use the grid position and find the path from the
We didn't have to set it to anything, did we? No.
Then in the update, when you click on the grid, you want to use the grid position and find the path from the current position to the grid position.
Curveballs.x, curveballs.y, grid position.x.
Store the path
grid
from the
position.y.
pathfinding.
Path is pathfinding.findPath.
In the on-draw gizmos, cycle through all the paths.
Right here, and we create a private on draw gizmos.
Nodes and draw the line.
Okay. Gizmos.draw.
We need to use get world position in the grid because our path node have a position of the node on the grid, not in the world.
So we're going back and we're making this public. Okay, I gotta find a way to be able to see so many things at once. So path at I dot y. So target grid, get world position, path at I dot x, path at I dot y. True. Why is there another parenthesis that I seem to have forgotten about? I see. Nope. Get world position. Is that not what I used? Grid does not contain a definition for get world position and no accessible extension. Not that get world position accepting a first argument type of grid could be found.
Overall node click
Alright, so yeah.
nodes. We need to use get world position in the grid because our path node have a position of the node on the grid, not in the world.
I think I see my mistake. Return to vector 3, x times cell size elevation is true. Alright, we need to publicate this. And this is get POS. And we want to do that again. You're expecting a parentheses y. Oh, I see why. Okay. Took me a minute to see it. Curve pause is grid position. These need to be set to the +1 values.
Good. Good.
Okay, I don't understand what we're supposed to be looking at, but I see the line. It's just index out of range. Index was outside the bounds of the array. CS44.
Good, this is it for this episode. If you have any questions or any ideas about code, please leave your comment below. If you're interested in seeing what will come out of this, please subscribe. If you want to support further.
Alright, so it's saying in the init, my path nodes appear to, the node that it comes in question seems to be out of range. Uh, uh, Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Object reference is not set to an instance of an object. Yeah. I don't think so. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Calculate distance path node, cur node, path node, go node. Actually, I should. Okay, so I did stop it.
To be able to access the with handler,
It does give me an error out of the box, right? It's giving me an index out of range. And it's not giving him that, so I'll compare ours and see if I forgot something.
pass, which will return the path between 2 points in the form.
So we go into Pathfinder, we're gonna find init, and it's saying that this line falls out of scope sometimes. Let's try that. See if that fixes the issue. Yeah, that fixed the issue. Let's pull the camera up a little bit. Index out of range exception on line 83 of the Pathfinder. So somewhere in here we fall out. Is that what it was telling me? The index was outside the bounds of the array pathfinder.path system.30 int32 startx index. Add path nodes, current node, position x plus x, current node position y plus y. Position x plus x, position y plus y is false, then continue. Why am I falling out? Yeah, it's repeatable no matter where I click, so telling me that here grid control the update.
Store the path.
Okay, so the grid position was working before, so it should be fine now. Which means that it's likely the current position, I think. And so it's telling me that the error is here, so let's do a console.log. Nope. I don't remember how we did it. Debug.log, got it. Debug.log. This is a dangerous place to put it in because it's probably going to overload. But we can use it to determine if we're actually getting bad data or whether or not Unity's reading something incorrectly. So, the first thing we're going to do No, I'm not going to check every single one. I'm going to just go through it as fast as I can. and see if I can spot a number that doesn't belong. And I think I figured out how a number got in that doesn't belong, and I will fix it off screen most likely.
Good, this is it for this episode. If you have
Actually, I need to. Yeah, I'm not getting any errors, but the that line is not getting drawn. Right, and I'm just gonna take a quick look at this to compare my init. Is null grid map get component grid. Path nodes is new path node. Grid map. Width. Length. Width. And then XY. Yeah. I don't think that'll fix the issue we're having, but I am willing to give it a shot. Yeah, I'm not getting any errors, but it's not running the draw line. Between two nodes when you move diagonally. Okay. I can't get the line to show up. I'm gonna pull this back a little bit. I'm gonna take that debug line out because now we know that it's working. So I don't need the debug line in the Pathfinder. Honestly, I could have made the debug more involved, but I didn't want to. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. I'm also not getting any errors, which has me worried that something's not implemented. I feel like I missed something when we switched over to grid control.
Then in the update, when you click on the grid, you want to use the grid position and find the draw.
You know, alright, let's check if the other one. So we know that this is getting hit. So we know that path is null.
Store the path from the pathfinding.
Okay, so I got that set up. Okay. If let's try this. Did I save it? I don't remember. Okay, so I feel like I forgot a return.
Cycle through this list on the implement. Just return state.
Yeah, do it again. Wait, did I? Hold on a minute. Did I ever actually edit that? Go to definition, return grid position X and position Y passable.
We will expand on walkable and unwalkable system later on. By adding to this and cost new equipment will be end node. If this node set values, access it. Turn this or current node assign us 14 and this completion of the path.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely missed something. So I remember writing this, the F value against the heuristic. I have the if open list dot contain. Open list dot remove or closed list dot add. Oh. Yep, I failed to put a return somewhere where it belonged. There we go. It's not perfect. Uh, uh, index was out of range must be non-negative and less than the size of the collection. So it's telling me that 56, an index is out of range. If I is greater than path.count, debug, log error, error. Save. Close. Wish it would take some time to tell me, but that'd be really hard to program because you need to know exactly what kind of error they were going to generate. I don't see the mistake. Let me take a look at the way he said it. And we'll just pull that Gizmo, draw a line, target grid, get world position, path I, POSX, POSY, true, target grid, get world position. I plus 1 POSX, path I plus 1 POSY. The perimeter in question is an index. It's on line 57. So we know it probably has to do with the plus 1. I'm gonna do this to see if it will give me double the error. If it gives me double the error, then I know that I'll just move that right there and so some of these, if what I'm thinking is right, some of these should be on 57 and some of these should be on 58. That's 56, that's 56, that's 56, that's 56, that's 56. That's 56. Okay, so they're all saying that the error is on line 56. Fifty-six, 56, 56, 56, 56. I'm gonna try a brute force fix. This might not work. It's saying on line 58 now, so yeah, it's still the same thing. It's still saying. let's try this and see if it's still gonna yell at me. Yeah. It's still saying the exact same thing, but somehow it's finding a way to get out of range. So, how about we just check if I is less than 0, debug dot log the index is wrong. Now this should never trigger. And I'll make this an else if, even though it's technically unrelated. Yeah, now it's saying 59. Nah, let's just go for it. Index was out of range and must be less than the size of the collection. Right. I think this will be the last one I check for the night. I think I'm going to do the forbidden activity and pass this question on to someone a little more understanding than I am. Yeah, I know about that error. So, we're not exceeding the count. Could potentially be possible that the error is in this method, but I don't think it is. But I think this will be all for the night. I'm ready for a bit of a break, and daily's reset in about 30 minutes, so. I'll probably spend most of tomorrow trying to figure out how to prevent this error. If I do figure it out, I will let you guys know on the next stream. There might be another one this week, but as always, I'm probably not going to plan on it. So until then, I guess good morning, because where I am, it's almost 5 o'clock. Alright. I don't have an ending screen, so